So you as a both writer-director?
Yeah.
What do you see first?
Well, I mean, the thing is, I would do both for the, you know, I would direct someone else's work, and I have sort of given, you know, other people have directed stuff I've written. I think that I would be, you know, I wanted to be a director originally because I wanted to work with actors. And I used to be an actor and I'd done stuff, and I actually, you know, there were times when I thought that the director hadn't sort of got the best out of the actors around them by not really giving them what they needed. And that just, so I wanted to work with actors, and I think I also wanted to find a way of expressing things a bit more via my own voice. God, it sounds so awful. By my own voice. I want to express myself through my own voice. Yeah, just that, but basically not as cheesy.
Well, now that you say that about your own voice, because you've made so far 4 feature films,
Yeah.
if I'm right.
Yeah.
I really can see the tone among your first 3 movies, and I see a big difference between the theme and the kind of story of the movie we're screening tonight.
Yeah.
So for Marion. So do you see this last movie as a turning point on your cinema?
No.
Or the beginning of a new trilogy? Or?
No, that's quite funny. No, you know, weirdly, I'd written Song for Marion just before I made my second film, and it just so happens that it just took a long time to sort of get made. I don't really look at too much at like what kind of genre or what kind of, you know, I just tend to sort of focus mainly on the story, and if it's a story I want to obviously A, write about, and then B, see. And I wanted to make this film, there were certain things that were relatable to me in the story, and that I was able to bring in my own experiences. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to make the film. And also I'd made sort of 3 films that were, you know, possibly not very commercial movies, and I wanted a film that my parents could watch, or feel that they could watch without going like this. So there was lots of reasons to make it. I certainly didn't look at it as like, oh, this is a new venture. It was just a different film. And I think that, you know, the films that I'm working on at the moment, the scripts and the other projects, they've all got different elements and the same elements, and, you know, but I don't really tend to focus on looking at it in that way.
Okay. Well, I cannot help asking you about something that nowadays I think is kind of it seems that you cannot keep on being a filmmaker or a director for feature films if you don't write for TV. I mean, even if you're a well-known director, at the end they all write for TV, and now it's well considered. I've seen you wrote an episode for Dates.
No, I didn't write it. I directed one. Yeah.
Sorry, and well, I have to say that it's a TV show that I loved. I mean,
Oh, did you watch it? Oh, right,
really
okay.
like it, yeah.
Okay.
And well, what do you think about this fact that both writers and directors now is so common that they direct for TV? Is it necessary to survive as a well-known director?
Well, I mean, God, I think it's necessary to always be, you know, to sort of be doing something. But then, you know, there are lots of reasons to do a project. And Dates came along at a time where I was waiting to start prep on another film. So I had a period of time that was free. And I was told I was able to work with certain actors that I wanted to work with, and my crew, and so I really wanted to do that. It was a different experience for me because I wasn't, you know, the decisions didn't really stop with me at all. I could say certain things, and then eventually I would be, you know, I didn't go and see the grade. They didn't let me know about lots of things. I found it very difficult actually, and that's not the way I want to do things. I want to sort of be a part of the process from beginning to end. So it was a difficult thing, and it sort of made me not want to do TV. But then there are other things. The thing I just shot, I've shot right now, is a one-off drama, which I really did enjoy, and I did. And it's very important. It's a very important subject about domestic violence, and I've had a really good experience on that. But then I also got other films coming about, and I've just sold an idea for a big TV show. Yeah, I don't think there's a problem in doing it. I think that nowadays, maybe whereas before it was very separate, and now it's much more seen as there's so many TV channels all over the world that they are in need of content, and to separate themselves from other channels, certain channels wish to show the best quality they can and filmic stuff as well, and I think that's why there are a lot more bigger actors and more film-orientated directors and writers working in telly. But also everyone's got to pay rent. You know, we all have bills, man. I've got to pay stuff, and that lasts in everybody. So, you know, this is a job as well. You do have to earn money, and yeah.
No, but it's true that maybe a few years ago it was just to pay the rent because you couldn't find that freedom.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not the case you were talking about, because maybe these were kind of, no freedom at all. But I mean, the fact that you can have a big budget, big names, big actors, the stories are much more profound, more deep than they were supposed to be in the past. So,
yeah, no, definitely. And I think that you can, you know, the idea of the freedom scenario is something that on this job, on the job I've just done, I was it was important to me that there was going to be an element of freedom. And I basically learned that from the last job, where I was just a cog in a wheel, actually. But with no, I didn't really have a lot of say. So, you know, for me, I think the freedom is very important, but also, like you say, there are a much more involving stories now, and they're prepared to push things a little bit more, and I think that's because audiences want a little bit more, and perhaps now audiences are treated better in terms of the fact that they are not considered stupid as perhaps they once were, or you know, like True Detective and shows like that, which are just really fantastic, and you know, but you have to think and you have to sort of pay attention, and I think that's really good about TV.
Very basic and common question, and what your references?
My references?
Yeah.
It's really weird, I don't know. I mean, all the films I like, I'd find it very hard to watch some of my films because I get quite scared and can feel very uneasy about, I don't like violence, I don't like real violence. I sort of want to, when I go to the cinema or to watch a film, a lot of the time I just want to switch off and escape the day-to-day life that we've got. So I tend to want to go and see big blockbuster films like that, and every now and again, we'll watch something deeper. And but references, I like all sorts of things. I like James Cameron. I think he's a genius. I like the work of. I liked what Gary Oldman and Tim Roth did when they directed. Early Scorsese, and there's lots of things I like. I also like working with, speaking to new writers and stuff as well.